Hey guys, and welcome back to The Interceptor. We're here with Alliance War Season 25, War number 11. D69 has matched DSVG, so we've faced these guys a few times. We've always won, but we know that both us and DSVG need to win this war. So for us, we need to win one of the last two wars to guarantee Masters. But DSVG actually needs to win both of their two wars, which means that if they lose against us today, then they can't make Masters no matter what. But unfortunately for us, it would be nice to let them win. But if we let them win and then we match like ASR in the last war, we don't get Masters. So we can't afford to just let them win the war. We're going in with the team of Quake, Warlock, and White Magneto. And this war is just going to be all over the place. I think I'm going to call this war something like, this is how you don't play Warlock. Because I actually used Warlock for 7 fights today, which is pretty crazy. But we hit a really nice intercept there, and then we get clipped dashing back because of her double mediums. But I'm pretty sure the rest of the fight is really, really clean. I did know this M. Callan guy. I knew he had willpower, so right here I just need to get to an L2. And he's getting power drains, so I hit a nice reparry there. We're gonna go right into a special 2. I did throw on tech boost for this, and look, I actually get like right to another L2, so that's pretty crazy. She caught me with an L1. I thought I dashed back, apparently I didn't, but we were able to hit an intercept there with an L2, and then we're just going to throw another L2, and that Tigra goes down pretty easily. So I used to take this Tigra all the time back in stubborn days when I was using Ghost a lot. But it's just like any champ can literally take this fight. That person had MD5 and it was irrelevant. Now we'll go into the most aggravating fight of this war. This is going to be an R3 Killmonger on Masochism. We're going to throw on the White Mags pre-fight. Now we are going to intentionally be activating Masochism in this fight when we use our heavy attacks. But the reason I'm doing that is that I want to trigger the regen so that I could land more bleeds later on, and also so I can drain the power, and with the healing I'll drain the power. So right here I'm gonna hit him a little bit. We made sure not to hit him until we turned or until his reverb activated, so that way he doesn't get any of the damages or the damage increases. But right here he's just under a bar power, so we have to activate reverberation. We're going to take some damage, and we're just going to wait out reverberation, and then right here I land a parry and I'm safe to go in. I do make a mistake here, so I'm going to activate Masochism with my armor breaks, and what that's going to do is it's going to make me take a lot of reverberation damage. I think I do it for the rest of the fight, but what you should be doing is right before you throw an L2, you should be throwing a heavy attack. Like right there, I did it correctly. So now I can very, very safely go in and chuck off an L2, and I know the armor breaks are going to stick. Now, Masochism timer with how long Warlock Special 2 is, you're actually never going to get both halves of your armor breaks trigger, or like both pairs, I mean. But other than that, you do get a lot of bonus damage out of it. We throw an L2 there. He's down to 15%, and he's about to die. And yeah, let's just throw off a heavy attack here. Here we counter with a heavy, which is beautiful. We're going to parry. We're going to get right to our L2, and that's going to fish him off. But the game did not want us to finish him off, so I actually edited that quite poorly. But if you look right here, let me play that slowly. It got cut out. So what actually happened there is when he was at 1% health, I disconnected out of the fight. 1%. I rewatched the clip. I slowed it down. I should have slowed it down in this recording. That's my mistake. But what happened is he was at 1% health, and I still had 3 hits of my L2 that hadn't done, that hadn't landed, so they were going to kill him. But I actually disconnected from the fight, and I was sitting beside my router, so I was livid after that fight, after disconnecting, after playing so well in that fight. So I calmed down a little bit. I went back into the fight and I took it with Warlock, and I healed him back to full first, obviously. And I actually finished with much more health. You'll notice at the top left there, I have about 80% health left. And I ended the first fight with 70%. So yeah, we had to do that fight over again, like the whole fight, because the game disconnected for I don't know what reason. But and then also, I was so mad that I actually forgot to restart the recording. So I actually also quaked a rank 3 6-star CGR on the mini boss node there, the one with the build up fury. It was about, I think it took like 7 quake cycles, so it was about a minute and a half. But it was a really, really easy fight. I ended with a full yellow bar. And now we're going to go into this Korg. So we're just healing up Warlock first because we're using him for the next fight. But we're going to be quaking this fight, obviously. This is a rank 3 6-star Korg on Mixmaster. You guys have seen me quake it all the time. But there's really nothing to it. It's a very, very easy fight. And this person actually did not have willpower, which is going to mess up one of Run's fights later. He has to fight Domino on 33, is it? I think it's 33. No, wait. I actually don't know. It's Spite Powerful from Afar is the node, but I don't know the number off the top of my head. But yeah, this is a really easy Quake fight. I take this all the time, and at this point, I'd cooled off for a bit. It had been about 10 minutes since the disconnect. I took like 5 minutes off, and then I redid the Killmonger fight, which was 2 minutes, and then the CGR plus load time was 2 minutes. So about 10 minutes, we went back in, and we got this fight down. I'm really, really unfortunate that we had that disconnect right at the end, too. If I had disconnected like 10% into the fight and I hadn't had such a clean fight, I would have been less angry. But the fact that I played so well in a fight that it was not difficult, but like not super, super easy, makes me a little mad. And here I just had to tell Run that Vegito had no willpower. And then I think it was Tildo. I'm pretty sure that moved me up to this Havok here. This was actually 2 wars ago. As of I'm recording it right now, it's like 5 minutes before. It's 32 minutes before War 12 ends. So I'm a little late to record this, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Tilda that moved me up. I still had 2 minutes left on my tech boost, so we're going to take this Warlock. And I played the beginning of this fight pretty poorly, actually, but by the end, we do have the strategy down. I knew this person had willpower, so Warlock was a great counter. And then right here, I triggered Dex by accident. And I don't know why I did that, but I'm going to lose all of my power. I went from 2 bars all the way down to 0 bars of power. But we're just trying to get him to never throw a special attack. So right here, we're just going to hold the block and then go in for a combo. And with Tech Boost, we're going to get right back to an L2, which is just beautiful. And then we're going to just block a hit so we don't have to Dex. Go into another L2, get to our another L2, and yeah, just finish it off. So back-to-back L2s, just absolutely beautiful. Or sorry, back-to-back-to-back even. But yeah, Havok is very easy on that node. We've also taken Havok with no willpower on that node with Warlock, and it's pretty easy still. But that one did have willpower. So now we will go into Path 1, Section 1. This is the Vigor fight. This is a Professor X, and I'm using Warlock for this fight. I think I used Warlock for 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in a row. But yeah, I am not going to play this fight well with Warlock, so I've already messed up. Once in the Tigra fight, I didn't mess up any times in the Killmonger fight. I messed up once in the Havok fight, but I didn't actually get hit. I just lost 2 bars of power. And then in this fight, I'm going to take some hits. So right here, I thought I could heal myself up by landing an L3. But I was actually killing too fast, so I'm not able to get to an L3. And then right at the end, right here, nope, not right there. Right there, I'm going to miss a parry. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll just go for my L3. And it kills him. So unfortunately, I do not get any healing. I just get the little bit of... what's that healing called that 6 stars have? Wow. How am I blanking? I forget. Wow. Okay. Now we have a rank 3 6-star IA bomb on this node, which is Buffet. And I have Quake to this node before. I've Quaked to rank 3 6-star on this node. But this person has willpower, so Warlock's just a safer option. Adrenaline healing. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. But yeah, we are boosting up. This is, by the way, later. So this was around 1 a.m. and I had to work at 7 a.m. So I had to be up at 5:30. So I only got about 4 hours of sleep this night because of war, but that's fine. So we're just going to parry 5 times to start it off. And then we can start doing heavy attacks. And the goal is to just never let him get a special one-off. So when my heavy pushes him to an L1, I'm going to block right out of the heavy right away and then wait him out till he's below a bar of power. And you never want to throw an L2 in this fight. It's just not a good idea because it's so many hits, and every 10 hits that you hit him, you're going to activate a poison on him, which means you're going to degenerate. Now, it's only doing 684 per tick, so it's nothing huge, but we do lose 20% of our health there. We have actually this same exact fight, a rank 3 6-star, next war, and it goes much better, so just, yeah, wait for that. But with 40% left here after the L3, my L3 is power draining. We're landing heavies. I don't even think we get to 20 hits. I think he dies before then, but maybe. I also changed my masteries to put 5 out of 5 in deep wounds for just this one fight. It was the only fight I was planning to use the heavy attack on for the bleed. And then right there at the end, I had to take some hits. Almost a beautiful fight. Almost a good fight, and then we had to take some hits. So yeah, not exactly the way you want to play Warlock for that fight, but it was good enough. And now we are going to go into this Apocalypse. This is going to be a rank 3 6-star. And I was actually supposed to use my White Mags pre-fight on the IA bomb, and if I didn't, this was my next hardest fight. But I also forgot for this fight. So I'm going to end up using it on a random fight on the boss island. That's a complete joke, just because we had extra, and there was no need for it anywhere else. It was literally just going to be wasted. But yeah, right here, we got the dex perfectly to cancel out the buffet on this node. So for the rest of the fight, it's just going to be hitting him. I know I'm never going to get a special attack off in this fight. It's just never going to happen. But with Resonate, I'm able to constantly power drain, and then there I dex. I'm going to get the dex on the third hit of the L2. And I just play this fight like super safely. I think it takes 100 hits, maybe even more. And it takes around 2 minutes. Maybe even 3 minutes, I'm not sure. But I do remember thinking that this was incredibly safe. Probably lose about 20% of my health on block damage, though. And then here we're going to go for... Oh, wow, I didn't go for a light intercept. I went for a parry after the 4th hit. But this is the way I usually play Magic. But, yeah, I guess it works with Warlock, too, clearly. Especially when they have willpower and they just never get to throw a bar of power. So there we hit a reparry. Looking to trigger Resonate again. We get it right after it expires. And yeah, this is just a really long fight, really repetitive of the same stuff. Now, when I saw that their rank 3 Apocalypse was on this node, I was baffled because this is just such a bad placement. In no way does this placement make any logical sense whatsoever. As you guys can see, I'm not running suicides, and I'm just hitting normally with Warlock, and this is the easiest fight ever. Yeah, he's about to go down in 2 minutes. Like, that's so easy. But anyways... Yeah, they wasted their Apocalypse. They just threw him away. They're like, yeah, this guy's a good defender. We don't need him. Just throw him away on a garbage node. And then Run was displeased with the fact that the guy I fought, the Korg I Quake, that guy had no willpower because he was fighting 2 of the guy's defenders, both with Warlock, which was unfortunate. But yeah, now we have a rank 2 6-star Sasquatch, which is weird. but this is going to be on the Enhanced Regeneration Mini. This is one of only 2 Quake fights you guys get to see. I only had 3 Quake fights this war, and one of them I forgot to record. So here you go. It's a pretty easy Quake fight. I think he enters Wrath like once in this fight. But rank 2 6-stars just don't really have much health. So this fight's going to take around 2.5 minutes. I think a little under that. And it's just super, super easy. Sasquatch is very, very easy to Quake. I know J-Gace, who is the second Quaker, he's our secondary Quaker in VG1. He always complains when I make him fight Sasquatches because he doesn't like Quaking stun immune champions. But he always solos with like 90% plus health, so I don't understand. I guess he just doesn't enjoy it as much. But for me, I've always said I never find I don't see any difference between Quaking stun immune and non-stun immune. So I could genuinely not care less. And then here I thought a heavy would kill him, but he's going to stick around until the end of this cycle right there. So now we have 1 fight left. J-Gace took Thor Rags on the Stunning Reflection. He took it with Apocalypse. And he soloed with like full health on Apocalypse, which was awesome. But now we have a rank 3 6-star Modok on this node, Brute Force Limber, and I played this absolutely horribly. We threw the White Mags pre-fight on to counter Limber, but I'm going to start off the fight badly, and I'm going to take a full heavy attack to the face. I think it gets 3 incinerates. So yeah, just look out for that. Right there, I thought he was going into parry, and he just he got me so fast. So now I'm worried about brute force. I'm like, okay, this could seriously be an issue if he doesn't throw his specials. But we're able to parry a lot because he never really gets to his specials with the defender having willpower. But right here, we get, I think, 2 infections. I could be wrong. It might be 3. And we're going to throw off an L3 just to get some healing to deal with the block damage a little bit. And the only thing I was concerned about in this fight was making sure that I stayed above 18% health. And there I missed a parry. I lost 2%. So we're already not doing good. But there he goes for heavy attacks. And he doesn't have his auto block up. So we're able to get that done. Or sorry, we're able to counter brute force there. For the rest of the fight, I think we just go parry heavy. In general, I do not like parry heavy fights, especially with Warlock. But in a fight like this, it's clearly the best option. And then right here, I take the tail end of his heavy attack. If that had gotten an incinerate, it might have pushed me under 18%. Maybe, I'm not sure. But I actually get another L3 here. And I think this L3 kills him. But if I needed healing, I could have just not gone for the extra damage, and I could have done some oh, it doesn't kill him. I could have just went for the extra healing, which was an option here, but yeah, we finished that fight at 28%. I think we took 4 whole hits there, 5 hits, which is definitely not the way you want to play play against Modok. But yeah, that fight is over, and that is my whole war. We had 10 fights today. So, that is going to conclude the war against DSVG. They played pretty well. We won by a score of 7-16. I actually got 8 of the 16 defender kills. I got half of our alliance's defender kills, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, that fight, they actually died 6 times to my rank 3 Apocalypse boss, so that was some of them. That was 6 of them, but they also died to 2 of my other defenders. So yeah. We did pretty well with 10 attacker kills and 8 defender kills. And that is going to be it for this war. This is going to place us safely inside Masters. Masters rank 15. There's no risk of us falling out of Masters unless I think it's 2 alliances that are in Plat 1 currently. Both have nodes left up against them. I think that's the only possible way we can get past. But yeah, that's going to conclude war number 11, the guide on how not to play Warlock. But that is going to make us 6-5 heading into war 12. We're still going to only have that 1 death versus Void. PSR is at 108 out of 109, so 99% still. It's technically above 99%, but there's no way it'll go up to 99.5 in one season. I guess is that theoretically possible if you die once? 13. Yeah, I guess it's theoretically possible if you take 13 fights every war and die a total of once. It can round up to 100% because you're taking over 150 fights. But in general, it's just, yeah. In general, it's not possible. But our Deathless streak is now at 41. I actually made a mistake in the last video I made for War. And I said that my Deathless streak was at 32 when it was actually at 31. Now, in the video, I said 32, but in the description, it is correct with 31. So this one with 10 fights is 41. But yeah, having taken 109 fights, that means that if I'm able to take 11 fights in my last war, I'm going to reach 120 fights in a season, which is an average of 10 per war. So that's my goal. But yeah, you guys will see whether I reach that or not. It's already over at this point. But that is going to be it for this war. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.